is going on, all you amazing viewers to play later? How we doing today? Whoo, today's one is going to be a bit of a weird one. It really, really is. Basically, it's what do you do when you have 2 combat patrols and you want your librarian to look a little different? Just saying. But you know how we do things here on the channel? We have got to get the adulting out of the way before we can play. So first up is a word from our unofficial sponsor.
So there I was, 23 years old, prime of my life. I woke up one morning, looked in the mirror, and my hair was thinning. It was all falling out. It wasn't until I discovered this one solution that changed everything. My first initial thought was, it's gotta be genetics, right? It's not my fault, this is genetic. Go and find out. I'm not the only one dealing with thinning hair and confidence issues. And it was nuts because we started to change everything in our routine.
We started looking at what we were putting in our bodies, what we were eating, how much water we were intaking, and then we started working out and taking care of ourselves, but still something was missing.
But also what we put on our body is drastically important to our skin and hair health. So we ditched all of those chemical filled products. We started using healthy, organic ingredients and took it upon myself to start creating these organic ingredient products to help people. I have a solution for you. Ditch all of those chemical filled products and grab something that's organic, natural, handmade, something that your family will thank you and your health will thank you. Make the switch today.
Seriously, great man, great company, great products. Go check that link out down below. Whoo, and do not forget to abuse that ever-loving viewer discount code that Johnny's giving you guys that is exclusive to this channel. He's giving you 15% off. Go abuse it. Make yourself stink good. I know that's an oxymoron, but come on. Anywho, alright. So as I'm having fun with this brand new passion project, my Grey Knights, like I said, I only really want to take them up to about 2,000 points. I think that'll give me a lot of flexibility for combat patrol games, which I just have to paint a Nemesis Dread Knight and I'll have a combat patrol box set done. So I can field one of those if I have to. I know I've got more than enough for a kill team somewhere. Alright. But as we're dealing with special characters, because like I said, if you buy 2 combat patrols, you're going to get 2 librarians. And unfortunately, they are single pose. You know? When you put them together, they basically look like this. Alright? The only real difference you have is you're going to have the bolter right there, or you're going to have his little hand out like he's throwing a spell at you. Alright. It's the first guy I did, and yes, I gave him up some blue to give for the librarian crap that could usually have that weird blue, but I went with, when I was doing Age of Sigmar, I went with my too early in the morning. I went with my Stormcast Eternal Blue as the blue for my librarians. But okay, I got him painted up. Matter of fact, this was, I believe, the first. It was either him or one of my normal little Grey Knight little dudes was the first I ever did, and these were kind of like the test schemes. Okay, I think I may have been working on them side by side. But I don't want to waste anything. Okay. So I've been looking at that secondary librarian and going, am I really just going to put a hand up and go, see, he's another guy, he's a different character, he's this. I wanted something really, really different. So I sat down with a couple extra sprues that I had, and I started building my other librarian. Then I had a little bit of inspiration. So, I have yet to prime him. Forgive me, okay? But that's what I came up with. I wanted a guy who had a bit more flair, a bit more character to him, and a bit more interesting things. So the first thing I did was, you notice on this guy, I broke his school book off his back. That's now going to be mounted on a vehicle somewhere if I ever get a vehicle. I think that's a great way to add some other character to a vehicle with the Grey Knight stuff. And I went towards my Terminator, oh dear Lord, I can't remember what they call those guys. The ones that have all the little weird banner poles on their back. I had a bunch of spares and I went, okay, well guess what? Now you have a different book. And yes, I added 2 purity seals to the book. I started looking around the body, and I went, all right, I want things a little different. So on the back, he got a couple extra books. Because that's one thing with Grey Knights. You know they got books everywhere. Like Space Wolves have pelts, Grey Knights have books. So I started going over the 9th edition codex I have and the data cards that I have, and I started looking at what can I arm them with. Because I'll be honest with you, that's just classified as a force weapon. And please forgive the hacking, coughing kids. Uncle Nurgle has decided to visit my house, and this plague is everywhere. But yeah, how fitting for a gaming channel. But like I said, that's just classified as a force weapon. So I didn't want them being both armed the same exact way. Like, here's a standard issue Aquila staff. Go have fun. Alright. So I kind of put the standard arm on there. But I didn't give him like that big blank silver shield. I had some extra kitted up ones. So he got one of those. And I struggled a little bit with what weapon do I want to put in his hand? Do I want to put a sword standing straight up? Do I want to put that weird, like, circular Terminator thing that has the skull in the middle? I was like, no, let's just make him your standard issue badass. So thankfully, I was able to find one of those force halberds or whatever that's still classified as a force weapon. And the piece fit almost snugly in there with just a little bit of, not super glue, plastic glue. As you can kind of see. Hey, I think he's out of the shower, so it's time for you to get in there and get more snot out of you. Because he's up there hacking and coughing and I don't hear water. I'm not going to edit that out. That's just part of the insanity of this channel. Okay, so we got those done. We got his arm, got most of his body, we got that done. So I had to figure out what to do with the left arm. I didn't have a lot of choices. Simply because I really wanted the librarian badge there on the side. Every librarian seems to have that weird skull with the horns and everything. And I started looking at secondary weapons. And I went, you can have a Stormbolter. Okay. Then I started looking at other parts. So, first thing I did was get a Terminator Stormbolter, glued it to his side, and went, alright, we're good there. Next thing I had to do was get that left-handed hand. And I started thinking to myself, well, I couldn't put the Stormbolter up because he's holding both his weapons up at the same time. I did that like he was giving some kind of salute to somebody, like he just defeated something and he was, you know, triumphantly over his dead body. So I had the Stormbolter pointed down. And for some unknown freaking reason, I went with the little pointy finger. I also turned around and added 2 more purity seals to that pauldron and some purity seals right there on the front. So like he's some big badass librarian coming out of Mars and going, fucked around and find out. I'm here. Let's go kill everything. But I hope this can serve as kind of an inspiration to sit down, look at your parts and go, I want something different for my force. What can I do that's not a fine cast resin or Forge World miniature that's going to break the bank? Because I'm seeing some of these new, Games Workshop prices and going, what the hell? $70 for 6 striking scorpions? Ugh. Like 70 for 3 of the Sanguinary Guard? Ugh. I'm really cringing because I hope my wolves get released after tax time, so maybe I can get some of these new things I keep hearing about. Yeah. Anywho, it's just a simple thing about how can you make something new for a spare character as opposed to relegating him to your bits box. So now I can happily field 2 librarians. Maybe the guy I had with the big book on his back can be his junior. Like he's coming out of that pocket dimension to help learn things with him. I don't know. I'm going to make some big backstory for my Grey Knights. I'm just not sure what yet. Okay? Whew, with all that being said, we're at the best part of this video. Seriously, I really truly love these and everyone I ever do. I want to know, questions, comments, love, hatred, anger, all that fun stuff right down below. How do you feel about that little conversion that I did? Did you like it? Could it inspire you to try something different? I just seriously sat down one morning and went, I've got to do something different. Back when I played Fantasy Oldhammer, I did that with my Chaos Hordes. You know, my Chaos Mortals, for lack of a better phrase. I sat down with spare bits and started rearranging things and went, how does this look? How does this look for a banner? Okay, what if we put a... Sometimes you get inspiration in the weirdest parts, right? Best way to support the channel is leave that big old thumbs up and drop a comment down below. You know, just let me know what you're thinking. Let me know how your days are going. You know, that kind of fun stuff. You guys are part of this up-and-coming community, and I love every one of you. But there we go, guys. What do you do with a librarian when you buy 2 combat patrols? I want to thank you guys for watching this one. Hopefully you're having a great day today. Hopefully you're having a safe day today. And Emperor willing, one day, real soon, we'll be rolling dice across the tabletop.